Well, those officials in the game tonight weren't going to let us enjoy the third period after letting so much go through the first 40 minutes, were they?
Those back-to-back calls in the third period are softer than my pillow. Before you fly off the handle, Johnny, take a deep breath. Ha, 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 ha. Does someone somewhere have a voodoo doll collection of this roster?
As always, not helping.
I guess the season's over.
So,
That was the plan.
why does it say placed on waivers?
Nothing said. I have to talk about dumb moves and a Peds front office.
What the hell did I just watch?
Do I really need to be here for this at this point?
I'm not having flashbacks to Game 4 against the Canucks last spring.
At this point, Johnny, you can just splice together old intros.
Cue the intro.
Redemption take you home.
Preds lose 4-2 to New Jersey Devils Thursday night inside Bridgestone Arena. Despite a valiant relief effort by Justus and 2 goals by Nico Hischier, the second late in the third period on a power play, stakes the Devils out to the victory in the end, when every point down the stretch here for the Preds is going to be oh so crucial. This one hurt because now the Preds' 5-game winning streak is snapped. Yeah, this game left a lot to be desired in multiple facets. The officiating, the Preds play in this game, in one of the least number of shots I've seen either team play in a Preds game as of late. Both teams are getting well under 10 in the first period, and I think this game is going to be scoreless going into the first intermission until just about 2 minutes left, when Jack Hughes from the sideboard gets a shot. It was originally credited to Jack Hughes, but then later in the second period they would announce that it was tipped in by Jesper Bratt. I couldn't really tell from the Devils angle that I saw, because I got stuck with the Devils feed, that if there was a screen, you'd like Annunen to have had that one, but the Devils have a 1-0 lead after the first. There were missed chances by the Preds that they're going to be giving their heads a shake at practice tomorrow that they didn't capitalize on. Luke Evangelista, off of a bank pass in the second period, had a clean-cut breakaway, and he couldn't beat Markstrom. Later in the second period, about halfway through it, Devils in the Preds zone again. Jesper Bratt going up and down the left wing board, then turns and gets a shot through probably a screen, and later it would be awarded to Nico Hischier, tipped past Annunen, and the Devils are up 2-0. And I'm thinking myself, some work showing from how they played in the latter half of San Jose game on Tuesday. I will give the Preds credit for not giving up, because shortly thereafter, Reed Schaefer goes in on a breakaway, and he doesn't make the mistake that Luke did, and he scores past Markstrom. Preds cut into the Devils' lead, now down 2-1. And then shortly after that, if it was just for this instance, I would probably have a little bit of sympathy for Devils fans, but we'll get to the mess that was the third period. There was possibly some infractions that could have got called. Chaos in the Devils zone. Luke Evangelista with his stick knocks the puck away. It eventually winds up on Steven Stamkos' stick, who goes forehand, backhand, confuses Markstrom, scores, ties this game at 2 on his 36th of the season. Preds and Devils tied at 2 after 2, being outshot 19-12, something I wasn't liking for the long-term prospects for the final result in this game. 3.5 minutes into the third period, Preds finally get their first power play of the game. Jonas Siegenthaler of the Devils goes off for tripping, and I'm thinking, oh, it's going to be one of these type of games where there's very little penalties. Preds don't score on that power play chance, and lo and behold, did I not realize how that was going to cost the Preds. About 8 minutes into the third period, Preds are pressing finally some life out of them in the Devils zone. Jacob Markstrom goes to play the puck behind his net. He doesn't realize that he has Ryan O'Reilly breathing down his neck, who steals the puck away from him and tries to set up Steven Stamkos in the slot, staring down an empty net, and Steven Stamkos goes to take the shot, and it doesn't go in because guess who? Luke Hughes is there to save Jacob Markstrom's bacon and keep this game tied at 2. Yes, I know some Preds fans I've seen blaming Stamkos for not burying it with the whole net to shoot at, but once he lets the shot go, it's up to fate, and Luke Hughes was just in the right place at the right time to keep the puck out. What everyone is going to be talking about tomorrow, who is a Preds fan specifically, starts at about the 10.5 mark in the third period. In a game that only had one power play apiece, a game that we all thought that the refs were just going to swallow the whistles and let stuff go, Fedor Svechkov gets called for that, for tripping. Are you kidding me? Fortunately, the Preds would dig deep. Some good looks for the Devils, but hey, shake it off. The Preds kill off the power play chance for the Devils there on a totally confusing call. Oh, but that's all for naught, because just under a minute later, after they've killed off that Preds penalty, Matthew Wood gets called for slashing along the sideboard. He didn't really cause any damage. He didn't break a stick. In a close game like this, you're going to call that? Yes, we should have known, yep. And sure enough, Nico Hischier, about a bit later on the power play, and the Preds are going to be so ticked at themselves for putting themselves in this situation, for the refs putting themselves in this situation. Devils convert. Preds now have to dig deep to find something, because now they're down 3-2. Bruno pulls Annunen with just over 2 minutes left to go in regulation. Devils miss on an empty net chance. Preds come back the other way. Wood tries to make up for his penalty that gave the Devils the lead on the power play, but he hits the post. 9 seconds of this game, Luke Evangelista playing back, trying to play defense on the empty net. He makes an initial save, doesn't see where the rebound goes. Timo Meier does. It's right in front of the Luke Evangelista, who doesn't see it in time. Timo Meier pokes it home. He's pissed. Stamkos and Evangelista got a game misconduct penalty for how they were ticked in the dying seconds of this game, and the Devils win 4-2. So what more can I say about this game? Yes, the officials contributed to the final outcome. The Preds contributed to the final outcome with their weak play through portions of this game. I can't put it all on the officials, Preds, when you get 6 shots on the first period, 6 shots on goal in the second period, and 6 shots on goal in the third period. That's not going to cut it in game 72 of the season if you want me to believe that you want to play in the NHL's second season. And you had Wednesday off, so it's not like it was a back-to-back situation. Now the Preds go into the weekend on a back-to-back where you'll have to travel at home on Saturday night in Hockey Night in Canada for me to watch you play the Habs. That's going to be a crucial game against a team not in your conference, not in your division. So I want to see you fight all out. I imagine Saros will be back in net for that one. And then you make a shorter trip. You lose a couple hours in start time when on Sunday at 2 o'clock Pacific, 4 o'clock Central for Preds fans, 5 o'clock local start in Tampa, you take on the Lightning, who are in contention for their division. I'm not sure. I'd have to check the standings if they're in contention for first overall in the conference over there in the East, but they're definitely in contention for their division. As for help on the out-of-town scoreboard, because after winning 5 in a row and controlling your own destiny, well, you have a minor setback, so now you have to see what kind of help you had on the out-of-town scoreboard. One of the ones furthest back, Seattle won in overtime, so you lost 2 points on them gaining on you. San Jose got a point back because they went to overtime but lost to St. Louis. thank God. Winnipeg should be pretty much next to pronounced DOA because they lost at home to Colorado. Right now, as I'm recording this, Utah is losing at home to Washington 5-4. We all hope it ends that way after 60 minutes so that there's no ground gained by Utah to pull further away from the Preds. And right now as well in Vancouver, the worst team in the league, the Vancouver Canucks, I can't believe I was expecting them to do us any favors. They're down 3-0 to the Kings. So the Kings are going to move to within 1 point of the Canucks, barring some miracle by the Canucks in this game. So still 10 games left in the season. Still plenty to figure out. Preds still control their own destiny with who they're playing. 2 more games against San Jose, 2 more games against LA, and a game against Utah. So a lot to figure out. I'm just not going to stress out too much just yet. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching as always. Click like if you liked this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. You can find my social media and interact with me during every Preds game by clicking on the channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption. Everyone, and I do mean almost everyone, deserves a chance of redemption. Not really the officials for the way they officiated that third period though, huh? Don't miss a chance to witness redemption.